Have you ever felt invisible in your own life, wondering why people keep taking you for granted? It's because you've been letting others walk all over you without even realizing it. In this video, we will explore why this happens and, more importantly, how you can change it. You'll discover practical steps to assert your worth and gain the respect you deserve. By understanding the underlying dynamics and learning to set boundaries, you'll transform your relationships and reclaim your value. Stay tuned to learn how to stop being taken for granted and start living a life where you are truly appreciated. Understanding the dynamics. People often take others for granted without even realizing it. It usually starts with small things like not saying thank you or assuming someone will always be there to help. Over time, these small actions add up, making the person feel unappreciated and undervalued. When people do not feel valued, it can hurt their self-esteem. It's important to understand that everyone has a need for validation. Validation means feeling acknowledged and appreciated for who you are and what you do. When this need is not met, it can lead to feelings of being taken for granted. One subtle way people are taken for granted is through routine. When someone consistently does nice things like cooking dinner or handling chores, it can become expected rather than appreciated. This expectation can make the person feel like their efforts are invisible. It's crucial to recognize and appreciate these everyday actions to prevent them from becoming routine and overlooked. Another way is through communication habits. For example, if someone always initiates conversations or plans outings, they might feel unappreciated if the other person never takes the initiative. This one-sided effort can make them feel taken for granted. It's important to share the responsibility of communication and planning to show mutual respect and appreciation. Small dismissive actions can also contribute. Ignoring someone's opinions, interrupting them, or not giving full attention when they speak can make them feel undervalued. These actions, even if unintentional, send a message that their thoughts and feelings are not important. Being mindful and respectful in conversations helps ensure that everyone feels heard and valued. There is also a psychological aspect. People need to feel important and valued in their relationships. When this need is not met, it can lead to frustration and resentment. Acknowledging and validating someone's contributions and feelings is essential. Simple gestures like saying "thank you" or "I appreciate you" can go a long way in making someone feel valued. In relationships, maintaining a balance of give and take is crucial. When one person constantly gives and the other only takes, it creates an imbalance. This imbalance can lead to one person feeling taken for granted. Ensuring that both parties contribute and appreciate each other helps maintain a healthy and respectful relationship. Understanding these dynamics is the first step in preventing oneself from being taken for granted. By recognizing the subtle ways it happens and addressing them, we can foster more balanced and appreciative relationships. Identifying patterns in relationships. Recognizing patterns in relationships where you are consistently taken for granted is important. First, think about your past and present relationships. Look for times when you felt unappreciated or undervalued. This self-reflection can help you see common patterns and understand why they happen. One common sign is a lack of appreciation. If people rarely thank you or show gratitude for your efforts, it might mean they take you for granted. Simple thank yous and acknowledgements are important for feeling valued. When these are missing, it can feel like your efforts are not noticed or appreciated. Another sign is the expectation of constant availability. If others expect you to always be there for them, without considering your needs or time, it can make you feel taken for granted. For example, if friends or family assume you will always help them out, without asking if you are available, it shows a lack of respect for your time and boundaries. Disregard for personal boundaries is also a major sign. If people in your life do not respect your boundaries, they might be taking you for granted. This could be ignoring your requests for personal space, constantly interrupting you, or expecting you to prioritize their needs over your own. It is important for healthy relationships to respect each other's boundaries. Encouraging self-reflection can help you identify these patterns. Think about different relationships in your life. Are there similarities in how you feel or are treated? Do you often find yourself giving more than you receive? By reflecting on these questions, you can start to see the patterns. For example, if you notice that in many of your relationships, you are the one always making plans or reaching out, it might indicate a pattern where others rely on you to maintain the relationship. This can be a sign that they are taking your efforts for granted. Another example is if you feel drained after interacting with certain people because they always seem to need something from you but never offer support in return. This imbalance can indicate that they take you for granted. By identifying these patterns, you can start to make changes. Recognizing these signs is the first step in addressing the issue. You can then set boundaries and communicate your needs more clearly. This will help ensure that you are valued and appreciated in your relationships. The role of reciprocity in healthy relationships. The role of reciprocity in healthy relationships. Reciprocity means a give and take relationship where both people contribute equally. It is important for balanced and healthy relationships. When both people give and receive, they feel valued and appreciated. This balance helps prevent one person from feeling taken for granted. When there is no reciprocity, one person may feel like they are giving too much without getting anything in return. This lack of balance can lead to feelings of being undervalued and taken for granted. For example, if you always help a friend but they never offer help in return, you might start to feel like they do not appreciate your efforts. To foster reciprocity, it is important to set clear expectations. Talk with the other person about what you need and expect from the relationship. This can help ensure that both of you are on the same page. For instance, if you always initiate plans, ask your friend to take a turn in planning your next outing. Clear communication helps balance the relationship and prevents one person from feeling like they are doing all the work. Practicing mutual appreciation is also key to fostering reciprocity. Show gratitude for the other person's efforts and encourage them to do the same. Small gestures like saying thank you or acknowledging their contributions can make a big difference. When both people feel appreciated, it creates a positive cycle of giving and receiving. Another way to foster reciprocity is by setting boundaries. Make sure that your own needs are met and that you are not always sacrificing your time and energy for others. For example, if someone asks for a favor, consider whether you have the time and energy to help. It is okay to say no if you need to take care of yourself first. Setting boundaries helps ensure that the relationship remains balanced and that you do not feel taken for granted. Encourage the other person to also set boundaries and express their needs. This mutual respect for each other's limits helps create a more balanced relationship. When both people are aware of and respect each other's boundaries, it fosters a sense of reciprocity and mutual appreciation. Reciprocity is essential for maintaining balanced relationships. By setting clear expectations, practicing mutual appreciation, and respecting boundaries, you can foster reciprocity and prevent yourself from being taken for granted. This helps ensure that both people in the relationship feel valued and appreciated. Power imbalances and their impact. Power imbalances in relationships can cause one person to feel taken for granted. When one person has more power, they might not realize they are taking advantage of the other. This can lead to feelings of being undervalued and ignored. There are different types of power in relationships. Emotional power is when one person controls the emotions of the other. For example, they might make the other person feel guilty or use emotional manipulation to get their way. This can make the other person feel helpless and taken for granted. Financial power is another type. If one person controls the money, they might make all the decisions without considering the other person's needs or opinions. This can create a sense of dependence and make the other person feel powerless and unappreciated. Social power involves control over social situations and networks. For instance, if one person decides who the couple spends time with or controls social interactions, it can make the other person feel isolated and undervalued. This imbalance can lead to one person feeling taken for granted because their social needs and preferences are ignored. To address and correct these imbalances, it is important to promote equality and mutual respect in the relationship. One way to do this is by having open and honest conversations about power dynamics. Discuss how each person feels about the balance of power and make sure both voices are heard. Another strategy is to share responsibilities equally. For example, if one person usually makes all the financial decisions, try to involve the other person in budgeting and financial planning. This can help balance the financial power and make both people feel more valued. Setting clear boundaries is also crucial. Make sure that both people in the relationship have their own space and time to do what they enjoy. Respecting each other's boundaries helps maintain a healthy balance of power and prevents one person from feeling taken for granted. It is also important to practice mutual respect. Listen to each other's opinions and needs and make decisions together. This helps ensure that both people feel valued and appreciated in the relationship. Recognizing and addressing power imbalances can help prevent one person from being taken for granted. By promoting equality, sharing responsibilities, setting boundaries, and practicing mutual respect, relationships can become more balanced and healthy. This helps both people feel valued and appreciated. Cultivating mutual respect. Mutual respect is very important in all relationships. When respect is missing, people often feel undervalued and taken for granted. Respect means treating others with kindness, valuing their opinions, and acknowledging their contributions. Without respect, relationships become unbalanced, and one person may feel ignored or unappreciated. One way to show respect is through active listening. This means really paying attention when someone else is speaking. Put away distractions, make eye contact, and respond thoughtfully. When you listen actively, it shows that you value what the other person is saying. This makes them feel heard and appreciated. Valuing opinions is another key behavior that demonstrates respect. Even if you do not agree with someone, it is important to consider their perspective. Ask for their opinion and show that you value their input. This helps to create a balanced relationship where everyone feels respected and valued. Acknowledging contributions is also crucial. When someone does something nice or helpful, take the time to say thank you and show appreciation. This simple act can make a big difference. It lets the other person know that their efforts are noticed and valued. To cultivate mutual respect, open communication is essential. Talk openly and honestly with each other about your needs and feelings. If something is bothering you, discuss it calmly and respectfully. This helps prevent misunderstandings and ensures that both people feel heard and valued. Setting firm boundaries is another important step. Boundaries are limits that you set for yourself in a relationship. They help you protect your time, energy, and well-being. Communicate your boundaries clearly and stick to them. For example, if you need time alone to recharge, let the other person know and make sure they respect that time. Setting boundaries helps create a balanced relationship where both people's needs are respected. Respecting each other's boundaries is also important. If someone sets a boundary, honor it. This shows that you respect their needs and are willing to make adjustments for the sake of the relationship. It creates a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Cultivating mutual respect involves active listening, valuing opinions, and acknowledging contributions. Open communication and setting firm boundaries are key strategies to maintain respect in a relationship. By practicing these behaviors, you can prevent yourself from being taken for granted and ensure that both people feel valued and appreciated. Behavioral changes to avoid being taken for granted. To stop being taken for granted, making some behavioral changes can help. Here are some steps you can take. First, be assertive. Assertiveness means expressing your thoughts, feelings, and needs clearly and confidently. When you are assertive, people are more likely to respect you and value your contributions. Practice saying what you want directly, but politely. For example, if you need help, say, "I need you to help with this task." This shows you value your own needs and expect others to do the same. Next, practice self-advocacy. Self-advocacy is standing up for yourself and your rights. This can involve speaking up when you feel undervalued or when someone crosses your boundaries. For example, if a friend constantly cancels plans, let them know how it makes you feel and why it is important for you to spend time together. By advocating for yourself, you show others that you expect to be treated with respect. Learning to say no is also important. Saying no can be difficult, especially if you want to help others. However, always saying yes can lead to feeling overwhelmed and taken for granted. Practice saying no politely but firmly. For instance, if someone asks for a favor and you are busy, you can say, "I'm sorry, but I can't help right now." This helps you protect your time and energy. Prioritizing self-care is crucial. Taking care of yourself shows others that you value your own well-being. Make time for activities that make you feel good and help you relax. This can include hobbies, exercise, or simply resting. When you prioritize self-care, you set an example that your needs are important, and others should respect that. Demanding recognition and respect is another key step. If you feel your efforts are not being acknowledged, speak up. You can say, "I feel like my work is not being appreciated. Can we discuss this?" This opens a conversation about your contributions and helps ensure they are recognized. Changing your behavior can help you stop being taken for granted. Be assertive and practice self-advocacy to express your needs clearly. Learn to say no to protect your time and energy. Prioritize self-care to show that your well-being is important. Finally, demand recognition and respect when you feel undervalued. These steps can help you establish your worth and ensure that others value and respect you. Empowering self-worth. Boosting self-worth is key to preventing others from taking advantage of you. It starts with internal work, which means changing how you see and value yourself. When you believe in your own worth, others will too. One way to boost self-worth is through self-affirmation. Self-affirmation involves repeating positive statements about yourself. For example, you can say, "I am valuable," "I deserve respect," or "My feelings matter." These affirmations help you build confidence and remind you of your value. Try to repeat them daily, especially when you feel low. Building confidence also involves recognizing your strengths and achievements. Take some time to think about what you are good at and what you have accomplished. Write them down and read them often. This can help you remember your worth and feel proud of yourself. Another important aspect is setting and achieving small goals. When you set a goal and achieve it, you prove to yourself that you are capable and competent. Start with simple goals, like completing a task at work or learning a new skill. Each success will boost your confidence and self-worth. Having a strong self-concept, which is how you see yourself, greatly affects how others treat you. If you see yourself as valuable and deserving of respect, others are more likely to treat you that way. People often pick up on your self-perception and respond accordingly. This means that when you feel good about yourself, others will too. Practicing self-care is another way to boost self-worth. Take care of your physical, emotional, and mental health. This can include eating well, exercising, spending time with loved ones, and doing activities that make you happy. When you take care of yourself, you show that you value yourself. This not only makes you feel better, but also teaches others to value you. It is also helpful to surround yourself with positive and supportive people. Spend time with those who uplift you and make you feel good about yourself. Avoid those who bring you down or make you feel bad. Positive relationships reinforce your self-worth and make it easier to maintain. Empowering self-worth involves self-affirmation, recognizing strengths, setting goals, having a strong self-concept, practicing self-care, and surrounding yourself with supportive people. When you boost your self-worth, you prevent others from taking advantage of you and ensure you are treated with the respect you deserve. If you have found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. We are keeping a Discord community of chosen ones. If you feel like joining it, the link is in the description.